Hello EPPI participants. My name is Samuel Adams and I am the Instructional Technology Specialist at Temple University. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to create a self-directed learning activity using the application Google Slides. I'm excited to be with you today and I hope you take away a lot of skills and information from this presentation and workshop. So, as I said, our goal is to create a self-directed learning activity. So for this example, we're going to create a self-guided reading quest and we're going to include some related videos. Now, the focus is not on this type of activity. It's really focusing on how do we use the functions of Google Slides for educational purposes to create this kind of learning activity. Now, this workshop does require some basic knowledge on how to create a Google Slides presentation. So if you're not very comfortable or familiar with the Google Slides application, I recommend doing some tutorial videos and practicing with the application before trying to do an activity like this. So let's get started. Now, first, I've created this sort of template here. So you can see I already have about 9 slides. I've chosen a lot of images here. I didn't want to spend too much time of our workshop getting the basis for this. But you can see I have an introduction page. This activity is called Save the Planet. And the students are going to go on this sort of journey to different natural places. They're going to learn about them, going to be taking notes, and then they're going to see a video that sort of ties in to the content that they were reading. So you can see I've already built in some navigation features like a next button, but it doesn't really work the way that I want it to. Here's our main menu, our sort of navigation menu, and what I want this to do is I want it to actually go to a different location every time that a student clicks on the image. So you can see that the forest is slide number 3, the ocean is slide number 6 for now, and then the polar region is slide number 8. Now in each of these different areas, I've also put this sort of text box overlay. So how I did this, I just created a text box here, I drag it over, and then I used a background fill color, and then I enlarge in the text here so that it's readable. And this is a text box with a nice backdrop that sort of ties in with the theme. I left a little bit of space over here for some images. So we see that, okay, and then I have this 5th slide here. I want this to be at the end of each of the sections, and when a student clicks on this, it's going to take them back to that main menu. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, I don't have the entire template created. I actually want 2 different reading slides, and then I have that video that I want to create, or I want to embed rather, into this activity. So, well, do I have to go and find this image and copy and paste it every time? No, I've already created this slide. I'm going to right-click and duplicate the slide, and what that does, it creates an exact copy of the slide, everything on it. So this is going to be really efficient here. So I have text box 1, text box 2, and then I'm going to delete this text box and I'm going to put my video here. So I'll do that also for the ocean, duplicate slide, and I'm going to delete this. I love this photo of the ocean, very nice. Duplicate slide, final duplication, delete, there's my video. Now you'll see that I could also duplicate this slide right now and put it at the end of the ocean, but we're going to hold off on that for just a second because I'm going to actually duplicate this after this navigation link is working. So let's go back to that main menu. And what we want to do next, the next skill is we want to actually find a way to have it so that when a student clicks on this image, it's going to take them to slide number 3, the forest. So you're probably familiar with the ability to, for example, use links up here. You could insert a link there. You can also right-click and link here, and you might do a website. I might link out to templeuniversity.edu, and now that's a website link, right? And the student clicks on it, takes them to the website. You can also use this linking function for images. And you don't have to go to a website. You can actually link to other slides within the presentation. So I'm going to bring this up just a little bit so that you'll see the full menu. I'm going to select this forest, and then I'm going to right click. I'm going to look for, I don't see my link on here. I guess they remove it from this menu, so I'm going to have to look up here. I see this insert link. Now it says, paste a link or search. And then if you look down, there's going to be a drop-down menu here. These are all of the slides in the presentation. So slide 14, 13, 12, 11. You can see it doesn't reach all the way down to 15. Sometimes you might have to make it a little bit smaller to be able to see the full selection. So there's 15. So the forest, I'm going to link to slide number 3. I'm going to apply that. Ocean, I'm going to link to slide number 8, apply that. And then lastly, the polar region. Thankfully, I have titles in here, so it helps me to know, but I could also look over here, slide 12, there, apply. So now, in a normal presentation, when you are in present mode and you maybe click anywhere on the slide, it's going to go to the next slide. But now that I have these image links here, I can click this and it's going to take me to the ocean. Now, wait a second, I just tried to go back and it went to the previous slide. So that's where it sort of gets into the navigation feature that I don't want. But if I go back here to present, I click the polar region, takes me to the polar region. So I would need to have some kind of return function, and that's what I mean to have here. So this is going to be my return to the main menu. So this star is just a shape that I inserted here. So you could create any shape, do a shape, choose a shape. I think the shape was somewhere in here. I have my star in here. You have a lot of different images and shapes you can use. You can also use a link for shapes. So here, I want to go back to that main menu. That's slide number 2. So I'm going to go here. You see how it doesn't give me the full menu. I'm going to drag this open just a little bit so that I have a full view. Slide number 2, apply. Okay, so now I have this working. I have this star working. Now I can duplicate this, and you'll see that the link is the same. It made an exact copy of the slide when I duplicated it. So now I don't have to link it again. I can just duplicate it and put it into the location that I want. So here we go. Let's see how this works out. Let's go to my main menu. We go to present. There it is. I click on the ocean. Okay. I go next, next, next. There's the video. And then I can click on the star and bam, I'm back to that main menu. There we go. It's working much nicer. However, you'll notice that there is also, if I click here and I go to this and I click the earth, I'm going to click here, it goes to the next one. So what happens is by default, any space that you click on a slide will go to the next slide. So what you can do is I'm going to take this, again, I'm going to delete these because I'm going to make a little bit of a modification. I'm going to move this slide over here, this star over here rather. I'm going to create a shape here. And the shape is going to go over the entire slide. Over the entire slide. Now it's not going to be this yellow. Don't worry about that. I do the entire slide here. I can do it just even a little bit over. I'm going to, so this is slide number 7. I'm going to make this transparent. I'm going to link to itself. So what's going to happen is I'm going to choose this, link to itself. So link to slide 7, apply. Then I'm going to use the order feature here. Since this is on the bottom, I want to order and bring this to the front, and now it will be here. So when I present this, I can click, I try and click anywhere on the earth. I'm clicking, clicking, clicking. It doesn't go anywhere. When I click on the star, there it is. Now it goes back. So there we go. I can Control D is the shortcut for that. Duplicate, There we go. Duplicate that. Move that there. Perfect. All right, so we now have that linking and the blanking out. I'm going to put actually some text here, and then we're going to continue. Okay, so I've added the text, and now I want to add some images into this slide to give some stimulus to the students while they're doing their reading. So you can add images using this insert image. You might be familiar with uploading from a computer, but you can also use the built-in search function for Google Images here. So for example, I might look for forest animal. Let's see what comes up. Oh, I like this. This is a nice little fox. I can select this fox, click Insert Image, and it gets put directly into the slide for me. Okay, now this image is a little big, so what I want to do is I'm going to reduce the dimensions of it so it sort of fits to the side, but I don't really like this sort of rectangular, this square. I want it to be a little bit softer. So I've selected the image. I can also use the crop tool to give the image a shape. So for example, I could make a circular shape here, and it's automatically cropped the image. Let's add one more thing, maybe a forest plant. Let's see what comes up. Okay, I like this plant here. I'm going to insert it. There we are. And now I can sort of change the dimensions of it. It looks like this has a little bit of extra space here and here. So I could click the crop image. And now I can make it a little bit smaller by dragging these black indicators there and press enter, and there we go. It's a much better size. I've sort of edited the image for my purposes. Maybe I'm going to go here and make it with the round edges, make it a little bit softer there. Okay, so you can see that I've done this on some of the other slides. Here's our ocean slides. I've added some of the images here based off of what I thought might make the reading activity a little bit more engaging and interesting with more stimulus for the students. Now I have to insert my video. So I already have the video that I want to, I know what video I want to put here. How do I actually insert the video into this slide to be able to view it? If I go to insert, I'll see this video option, and automatically I'm going to have a search YouTube function here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the link of the YouTube video into this box right here. All right, so there's my URL. I search for it. It gives me the title and the duration. I click on this, I click select, and now it gets inserted directly into the slide, and I can also change the dimensions of it like this. Now the format options automatically came open, but they might not for when you insert the video, depending on how you're editing the slides. So I want to have just a portion of this video play for my students. You notice that if I click play, this is 6 minutes long. That's not actually the duration that I want my students watching it. There's only one part of the video where it starts to talk about the importance of the forests until about around 2 minutes and 5 seconds, where they talk about the impacts. So I just want to show that portion. How do I do that? When I have the video selected, you'll see the format options over here. It will give you the choice to choose the start and end time. So I know, for example, that I want my video to start at 1 minute and 4 seconds, and I want it to end at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. I can also have it autoplay when presenting. So what is this going to do? Well, if we go to this slide and we go to presentation mode, and I go to the next slide by clicking, it's going to automatically start playing the video. If you notice at the bottom, 1 minute and 5 seconds, and then it's going to end when it gets to 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So I have a lot of control over the start and end time, as well as how the video reacts when students are navigating. So I went ahead and I inserted the other videos in here. You can see that I've added some end times, the autoplay. as well as for the Arctic video. Start at the very beginning, but maybe end just a little bit before where it does the advertisement. So now I have my videos set there. Let's see if this works. So we go to present mode, we go here, I visit the ocean, welcome to the ocean. I could probably add a next button here using my links just to give a clearer indication of what students need to do. There's my first reading, my second reading. I go here, it immediately begins to play the video, and then when the video stops, click anywhere else, and now there's that navigation. I can't click anywhere. It goes back to the main menu, and there is my very simple but engaging kind of self-guided reading activity. So we're almost finished. How do I make this available to my students? You're probably familiar with this share button, which allows you to sort of share the presentation with somebody that you're going to collaborate with. But what if I only wanted to share it in this mode, in the presentation mode? What you'll do is go to File, and you're going to choose Publish to the Web. Here you'll have the option to do a link, and it's going to give you some options. You're going to want to definitely change this to probably a minute. I'm going to show you how to make this even longer. Once I click that publish, it'll say, are you sure you want to publish this selection? Okay. And now I have this URL where if I copy this and I put it into my toolbar, it's only going to be the presentation. And now we have that nice interactive activity. It doesn't even seem like a presentation file. It seems like more of an interactive game. There's no way to exit out of this except for closing that. The trick to make this not do this auto advance is that if you look up here in the URL, it's going to say delay ms for milliseconds. You can just make this a really, 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 really big number, and then it is going to basically never advance automatically, and people will have the option to control their slides. That was a lot of information, but I hope you found some of these skills and tips useful. Again, this is not limited to just this reading activity. Let your imagination fly with what you can do by utilizing these functions of Google Slides to make some really creative activities. You could use this for things like Jeopardy, quiz games. There's a lot of different ways to use this. So I hope you found it useful and enjoy the rest of your online conference. Thanks.